Steven's simple message to griefers from his latest interview. My man. Okay, anyway, probably fake, but it would be very based if it was real. I would respect it if it was real. So, looking real quick through the patch notes, we're going to cover this as fast as possible. Number 1, to help new characters, we've added an opt-in to PvP safety option. This is available to non-combatants that are levels 5 or lower in the starting areas. So this was mostly from the Asmon Gold incident. They want to make it so that people do not just start the game for the first time and get killed at level 1. It feels really, really bad. By the time you're level 5, you've actually played quite a bit of time. So I like this opener. This is good. It's probably one of the best ways to do it. And it's very important to keep in mind this is only available to people in the starting areas. So it can't be abused. And what do I mean by abused? If they were to allow this to happen around the world, what would people do? They would make like level 2s and use those to transport goods as mules from one area to another safely without the risk of PvP. So again, that needs to be done. You have to reserve it only to starting areas. Smart. Number 2, they added the ability to recover caravans. When you're close to a caravan you can recover, you should see an option. Resurrect will now be granted automatically to clerics when they reach level 6, and change the cooldown to 30 seconds. Oh, that's a massive nerf. Alright, hear me out. So, from how I understand spells, I wonder if you can get a cleric, if you can interrupt their resurrect at the last frame, and not get it to pop off. So, for example, I know for a fact that if you're using a channeling skill and you cancel it, it doesn't go on cooldown. But there are some skills that do go on cooldown if they're interrupted during the cast itself. So for example, let's say I click headshot and then I roll out of it. It'll go on cooldown without it ever having gone off, for example. Same with barrage. If I cast barrage but something interrupted before it goes off, it can go on cooldown. So theoretically speaking, if you see a cleric casting resurrect and you CC them at the last second, it might be possible to interrupt it and get it on cooldown anyway, and then they have 30 seconds, they can't resurrect anybody. I think it's okay. I think it's fair. It's definitely... You know what? I'm going to say this is a very, very good change, and I'll tell you why. When you start off with a spell like Resurrect at level 1, you never learn to appreciate it. There's something about having chase goals in the early levels that feels really, really good. And I would say, giving you a really fun chase goal at level 6, which, by the way, level 6 is one of the easiest levels to get. The difficulty of leveling up really starts ramping at 7. So level 6 is not a hard level to hit. You'll hit level 6 pretty early in the game. It just feels more fun to me. Like, nobody's hard grinding to 6. Like, 6 to 10 is a tough grind. Yeah, I like this change a lot. As for the cooldown, I don't know if I like it because it already had a really long cast animation. It took a long time to resurrect. But I can see it being good, especially for, like, PvP, because it is a little bit crazy that a cleric can just keep resurrecting one by one with no cooldown in between resurrects. I think it's fair. I think 30 seconds is okay. It's still pretty damn fast. Most mage charge spells will cooldown if interrupted as well. But this is only if interrupted at the end or midway. Because mage spells have something, for example, you have Lightning Strike. But if you interrupt it, like if you cancel it halfway, it still goes off, right? Self-buffs will now be removed when resurrecting your skill tree. When respecking your skill tree. That's massive for Ranger. So this is a massive nerf to Ranger. Before, and everyone was doing this, you would put 2 of your skill points into arrows and a hunt. You would activate them and then respec them. So you had 2 extra skill points at all times. This means you're playing with 2 less skill points as a Ranger now. So big nerf to Ranger. But necessary, and everyone knew it was a bug. Everyone knew it was just a matter of time before they implemented this. So I understand it. I'm happy it's there. It was kind of tedious to non-stop be applying the buff, respecking, applying the buff, respecking. I'm being told that the same nerf applied to mages as well. Okay, although what passive did mages spec into for themselves that was permanent? I don't remember. Fishing rewards will now properly give items with a variety of rarities and certification experience. Okay, cool. Adjust the drop rate of items from named enemies. I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf. They don't really give the numbers for it, so... Hopefully a buff, because I love seeing items drop from named enemies. And I've not really seen, like, a massive difference between named enemies and just random 3 stars in terms of item drops. Maybe they were there. But, yeah. Don't really know what to make of this. I don't know if it's a nerf or a buff. They fixed a bug causing bags to have a fuel requirement. Okay. And a longer than expected crafting time. Fair. A bug was causing Bone Binder Shaman to permanently reduce a character's physical mitigation. Wow. Never happened to me, but good they fixed it. Equipment from the list of what Mayor vendors were selling was removed. Some of the equipment was really, really strong, so they removed some of it. Okay. Added different damage type weapons to several vendors. I mean, I'm guessing this means like maybe physical spell books, stuff like that. Fixed some NPCs so they're no longer standing on top of buildings. Commissions that had font changes in the UI. No, commissions have had font changes in UI. Fixed UI bugs with the guild war declarations. Fixed several typos. Improved the visuals of some cloaks for Vec characters. You know what they need to do? They need to fix visuals for weapons not going invisible when you cast Camouflage and Ranger. That's the visuals I want fixed. Lighting-related client performance improvements. Huge. Because we do know lighting can sometimes really mess up your frames. And fixed some crash issues. Awesome. Alright, fantastic. Pretty simple. Nothing really special here other than, I would say, the opt-in PvP to level 5 in starting zones, number 1. And number 2, I would say, really big deal is you can no longer respec out of your passives anymore. So yeah, self buffs will not be removed. Will now be removed when respecing. Cleric changes, all right. And somebody told me we had some bard changes, although I do not see them here. Isn't the camo book fixed in the November 12th patch? It was still happening to me, literally, on this weekend. So I don't know. Keep in mind, PTR patch does not mean it's making it to the live game yet. So we've seen PTR patches make it pretty fast, but it doesn't mean it's there. This is what's happening on the PTR. It is... Nobody knows when this will make it to the live version of the game, right? This PTR is going to be running. People are going to be testing it. But yeah, again, you might not even make it this weekend for all we know. So it's too early to tell.